If you're a business owner or a sales leader, this video is going to be for you. My name is Sam Queen. Some people like to call me the Close Doctor. I've onboarded hundreds of sales reps to hundreds of Close CRM accounts with the process that I'm going to show you here today. And I've done all of that over the last 6 years as their #1 fan. And in the first half of this video, I'm going to show you all of the settings that you're going to want 100% of your sales reps to have turned on when you onboard a new rep into Close CRM. And in the second half of the video, I'm going to cover the really important stuff, the sales leadership and management stuff that's not only going to get your sales reps onboarded, but it's going to keep them following the process, keep them following the SOPs for years and years to come. Coming into our settings to invite a new sales rep to Close CRM, you're going to go to Team Management. You're going to hit Add New User. This is where you'll put in their email address. And then this is where you will assign the role as well to that user. More on that in a second. Roles and permissions. We come in, we add a new role. Close allows you to choose what a user can and can't do based on a custom user permission setting. So if you don't want a sales rep to be able to delete a lead, maybe we would have that toggled off, and then we can save all of this as a custom role for those sales reps or for that specific user group. Speaking of user groups, under Team Management, you can have groups. In this Close account, I've got closers, I've got setters, and then I've got the support team. This is going to be applicable when you maybe want to round robin leads, maybe when you want to share a smart view with someone, you can share it with a specific user group. And it's just going to make assigning smart views, assigning assets, assigning roles a lot easier inside of your Close account. Going down on our settings here, if we come into scheduling links, that would be the only other relevant thing in the onboarding. One call out here, some of these things are relevant to you as an admin. Like what I just showed you is relevant to you as an admin when you create the user. Other things might be relevant to that user when they log in. Like this is going to be relevant to a user when they log in. If you use Calendly, it's a very native integration with Close CRM. You'll just hit connect with Calendly. And then if you have outside scheduling links like OneHub, or we love iClosed here at Close Doctor, you could just paste those links, name the links right here under scheduling links, and then that'll allow you to put them in email templates or SMS templates a lot easier in the future. For phone and voicemail, new number here at the top will allow you to add a personal number. You can select that specific area code that you might be looking for. Phone numbers are super cheap. If Close CRM has them, you'll get it instantly. If they don't have them, they can go through a process to request those specific phone numbers for you. A group number differs from a personal phone number because a group number is used for a group. It can be assigned to multiple users. And in addition to that, it can be used for predictive dialing. And you must have a group number set up for predictive dialing. That's going to allow you to call it really high multiples inside of Close CRM, 2x, 3x, 4x, depending on how many people you have in a dialer, and really allow you to just hit massive calling numbers. I got a full video on this channel about predictive dialing and Close CRM if you want to check that out. Inside of those group phone numbers, you could also set up lead-based call routing. This allows you, depending on a lead status or specific information on a lead profile, to route to a certain user. You can set up a phone menu, press 1 to speak to, press 2 to speak to, press 3 to speak to. And then from there, you can assign those users on your team as well. If you want to set up a fallback forwarding number to send leads to, you can do that like a personal cell phone number. You could forward calls from Close CRM to a personal cell phone number. Now, if you're the business admin watching this right now, you may have had to gone through A2P. I'm actually inside of this Close CRM account with SendBlue. I don't even think we have A2P set up. Look, if I wanted to send a text in here, we couldn't. And that's because at SendBlue, we use SendBlue. We integrate iMessage into our Close CRM accounts. It's like taking this iPhone and being able to use it from your CRM. This is going to allow you to send videos. It's going to allow you to send voice messages. Look, these are going out to this lead as we speak right now in an automation. So you can automate actual iMessage and you get a much higher response rate, 2 to 3x the response rate. This guy wants to know mainly just the pricing per line and how many SMS I can send per line per day. He's going to get this message here in a second. I can see it's still delivering. And then I expect our lead here to reply to that. But that's integrating iMessage with your CRM. We've never actually sent a text with an A2P or a green bubble from SendBlue because we use the iMessage lines. If you want to check out what that looks like in Close CRM, I'm not going to do a demo in this video, but check out this video on your screen here, Close CRM times SendBlue. Continuing on down, we've got email. This is where you would put in an email signature. Once again, this is another thing a user is going to do from their end. You can upload an image here as well if you want to have an image email signature. One really quick call out, not under the settings, is going to be in the top right here, and that is turning on call recording. We're going to want to make sure we toggle on auto record calls. This way all of your calls are going to be transcribed inside of Close CRM, and you'll even see them in a nice conversations view, which I really love as a manager inside of Close CRM is reviewing all of the calls on this view. And finally, a setting that is not toggled on by default, but definitely should be, that you're going to want to have every sales rep turn on, is going to be this send as feature. This is going to allow these workflows that you build in Close CRM to send from a macro level. So when you build it maybe inside of Zapier, you can round robin that user group and it actually goes out from that user. Or you're going to find that your workflows just break and you're like, this is set up properly. Why is this breaking? And it's probably because you don't have send as turned on. So definitely toggle this on. Before we get into that macro stuff that I'm talking about from a real sales and leadership level when it comes to onboarding the sales reps, let's look at the smart views. The sales rep, is a little header which just says initial lead status is DNC. And then all of my sales rep smart views have a blue emoji alongside of them and they're numbered. So it makes it easy for the sales rep to put them in the order they need to go in. And maybe in my onboarding deck or somewhere in my onboarding process, I have a screenshot of what this should look like so they know how to order them. Or I'm checking on my one-on-ones that they're ordered properly. My sales rep or my account executive smart views are then only shared with the account executives, right? That way I'm not adding clutter to someone else's pipeline. My setter smart views, they're purple. They've got their own header. They're only shared with the setters. The free-for-all ones are green. They're shared with everyone. The red ones are from a managerial level for me. The yellow ones are from a support level. I've got little books over here for my reporting smart views, and those are kept private to myself. I have some training smart views and they've got a little man lifting weights on them. And I have that in my onboarding process for people to review lead profiles. So doing these little extra steps, creating the header, adding the emoji, numbering your smart view, labeling your smart view, giving it a good name that's easy to read. These little things are going to create the environment where you're probably going to have a sales rep that will come into your team, especially if you watch my part 1 step-by-step on actually building this CRM and my part 2 step-by-step on how to build this CRM. You'll have people that come onto your team that say, wow, I've never worked in an environment like this before. Thank you. And I know this because that's what people that come onto my team say when they onboard into their CRMs. Now let's get into that higher level stuff, that stuff that's going to go well beyond just these settings or how you number or label a smart view. Managerial level stuff, the leadership level stuff. I'm going to cover 3 parts for you here. And number 1 is that onboarding a sales rep to this CRM right here starts in your hiring process. Yes, duh, Sam, it's the people that I pick at the beginning. The number 1 thing when it comes to onboarding a sales rep to this CRM is that it starts in the hiring process. Of course, it starts with the person that you're going to choose that you pick to have on your team that needs to follow this process. So maybe it's asking in your interview process, what CRMs have you worked in before? Can you tell me about your day-to-day in those CRMs? Were you responsible for your own process in your CRM versus all of the other account executives? Did they kind of follow their own process? For me, that's going to be a red flag coming into my environment because I need every single person to be following the same process every single day. I have an advisor that I worked with that shares an analogy with me that I'll now share with you, and that is about my kitchen. In the interview process, I like to share this story and ask the person that I'm interviewing, hey, have you moved a couple times in your life? And they'll say, yeah, I've moved a couple times in my life. Has every place that you moved had a kitchen? Yeah, they've all had a kitchen. Okay, maybe you set up your kitchen a little bit different than the way I set up my kitchen. It might be from the first kitchen you were raised in. Maybe you put your silverware next to the dishwasher like the house I was raised in. Well, now for me, when I go and I move to a house, I'll put the silverware by the stove because I like to cook a lot and I like to grab my utensils a lot. And while you've had your kitchen set up the way you set them up and they work for you, I don't need anyone coming in and insert explicit messing up my kitchen. Now, if you find the steak underneath the sink by the bleach, we definitely want you to say something. But I don't want you to take the way you're used to operating in the kitchen and bring those habits into my kitchen. And that is this sales process here. I don't want you to mess up my kitchen. Now, the second part on onboarding a sales rep to Close CRM, the best way possible outside of just the hiring process, is the actual onboarding process. What does your onboarding motion look like in this CRM? A lot of sales teams, their motion is just, hey, here you go, have fun. Here's your book of leads and figure it out. Not my sales teams, not my sales orgs. So for me, this looks like when onboarding a sales rep is building an actual training library. Here is an example of what that training library could look like in an account executive day to day. We are on time to our sales meetings. That is important. Then we take care of our book demos. We're never late to those. Here's a video on book demos. Here's your smart view. Then we're into clearing your inbox, and we'll teach people how to clear their inbox, how to set tasks, make sure it's at 0. Confirming upcoming demos. Here is your smart view for confirming upcoming demos. Then we want to cancel demos that maybe aren't going to show up. This is a needle mover I've really found, is if you have a no-show rate and you can find out ahead of time that someone might no-show based on certain characteristics, get them off your calendar. How to move a lead through the pipeline in the CRM and what the different stages mean and what the definition of them is. How to actually clear your smart views and setting up smart views like buckets. Check out this video on your screen here on a training on smart views. Daily dialing minimums. Guys, 50 dials per day is nothing. I did an experiment just to show my team. I did 51 dials in 30 minutes, 28 minutes, 16 of those minutes were spent on the phone. So if you're using the predictive dialer in Close CRM, you should be able to hit hundreds of dials if that's your only job. Talking about speed to lead and our motion for speed to lead. And then really, really important is we want people to sign off on this. We want people to sign off on this, whether it's actually signing off or having them send you an email once they complete it. But we need something to point back to. So if someone doesn't get it somewhere along the road, you can point back to the training process and say, hey, do you remember when we had this training? Yeah. Do you remember when you signed off on it here on this date? Okay. What part about this training are you not understanding right now? We have 0 exceptions that we make here for not following this sales process. What part of this training are you not understanding? Along with the onboarding, we want to quiz people on it. So in that onboarding process, when we've set aside some one-on-one time, quiz them on it. Hey, can you show me what you do after a call? Can you show me how you set a task? Can you show me how you send a text? Can you show me how you get into the predictive dialer? Can you show me how we take notes? And actually do a competency test with these individuals on these processes. The last thing you want to do to onboard a sales rep effectively and keep them onboarded following your SOPs is going to be drilling on it every single day. That could be daily sales meetings, that could be weekly one-on-ones, but you're talking about it and its importance to your sales process every single day. The CRM can be the backbone of the sales process. You will make more money when you follow the process laid out in the CRM, assuming you have a good one. If you don't, find me on LinkedIn, send me a message, let's chat. You want to know the outcome of every sales opportunity. Make sure you have a process to get the outcome of every sales opportunity. For me, inside of Close CRM, it's filling out either a demo call completed or a demo call not completed. Also inside of Close CRM, you can build a smart view to make sure that process is being followed in a needs post-call notes. This is going to show me all of the leads where there's a demo call booked, there's not a completed, there's not a not completed. Once these individuals fill those notes out, they'll disappear from here. My lead statuses will update, my opportunity stages will update, my reporting will update. It'll be a beautiful thing. In your one-on-ones that you may be having weekly or bi-weekly, I'm drilling on this. I take the first 10 minutes. We start in the inbox. We go into the upcoming inbox or what's happening in the future. We then go through each smart view one by one. My expectation is that they are empty, that they are zeroed out. And if they're not, I need to know why. If our daily dialing minimums are 50 per day, you need to ask why it didn't happen the next day, not a week later, but the next day. Why didn't we hit our minimums? If you let these habits pester on for too long, people will expect that they can get away with it, and then trying to pull them back along is going to be even harder. So it starts in the hiring, continues in the onboarding, and then you have to drill on your CRM every single day. When you then go hire a manager, they need to drill on it every day. When you go hire a director, the expectation is that they're making sure the managers and the reps are drilling on it every single day. And as time goes on, these things can get lost over years and years or over scale. But this is what's going to lead to the scale. Following this process is what's going to allow you to scale. So we have to remember it from day one and keep it at day 1000. This video was probably very helpful for those that stuck to the end here with me. Remember, you're not going to look like the Grinch by holding the line. Doing exactly what you say you're going to do and holding your word as a sales rep on a team is one of the most powerful things that you can do. So hold the line with your team, be a good leader, lead from the front by example. And as always, thanks for watching.